Hi, in this video, we will be solving example sums for determination of sacrificing ratio, gaining ratio and new profit sharing ratio. Let's begin with the first example. Example 1. A, B and C are partners sharing profits in the ratio of 5:3:2. Calculate the new profit sharing ratio, gaining ratio and sacrificing ratio if C takes 1/5 share from A. So let's go about doing this problem. OPSR, which is the old profit sharing ratio between A, B and C, is given as 5:3:2. Now it says that C takes 1/5 share from A. So gain of C is equal to 1/5 and sacrifice of A is also equal to 1/5. So to get the new share of A, we need to take the old share of A minus the sacrifice. The old share of A is 5 divided by 10 and the sacrifice of A is 1 divided by 5. On taking the LCM and deducting, we get the new share of A as 3/10. New share of C is equal to old share, C gains. So old share of C plus the gain, which is equal to 2/10 plus 1/5. On taking the LCM and adding it up, we get 4/10 as the new share of C. Therefore, NPSR between A, B and C is equal to 3/10 is to B's share remains the same as 3/10 and C share becomes 4/10, which is equal to 3:4. So this is the NPSR. The gain, we can't get a gaining ratio because there's only one person gaining and that is C. And sacrifice, again you can't get a ratio, there's only one person sacrificing and that is A. So the final answer NPSR between A:B:C is equal to 3:3:4. Gain of C is equal to 1/5 and sacrifice of A is also equal to 1/5. Let's go on to the next problem. Example 2. A, B and C are partners sharing profits in the ratio of 5:3:2. Calculate the new profit sharing ratio, gaining ratio and sacrificing ratio if C takes 1/5 share equally from A and B. again old profit sharing ratio between A is to B is to C is equal to 5:3:2. C takes 1/5 share equally from A and B. So the gain of C is equal to 1 divided by 5. And since he takes this equally from A and B, the sacrifice ratio between A and B is equal to 1:1. So as we saw in the previous theory section, to get the sacrifice of A, we need to take the total sacrifice, and the total sacrifice of A and B together is 1/5, which is the gain of C. So 1/5 into the sacrifice ratio of A, which is 1/2. So sacrifice of A is 1/10 and sacrifice of B is again total sacrifice of A and B 1/5 into the sacrifice ratio 1/2, which is equal to 1/10. So to get the new share, we need to apply the formulae old share minus the sacrifice. So for new share of A, old share of A is 5 divided by 10 minus sacrifice of A is 1/10, which is 4/10. Similarly, the new share of B is equal to old share of B is 3/10 minus the sacrifice of B is 1/10, which is 2/10. Now to get the new share of C, we need to apply the formulae old share of C plus the gain, which is equal to 2 divided by 10 plus 1 divided by 5, which is equal to 4 divided by 10. Therefore, NPSR between A, B and C is equal to 4:2:4, which can be further simplified into 2:1:2. So this is the NPSR 2:1:2. The sacrifice ratio between A and B is 1:1, and there is only one person gaining, and that is C, and his gain is 1 divided by 5. So let's summarize this. NPSR between A, B and C is equal to 2:1:2. Gain of C is equal to 1/5, and sacrifice ratio between A and B is equal to 1:1. Let's go to the third example. Example 3. A, B and C are partners sharing profits in the ratio of 5:3:2. Calculate the new profit sharing ratio, gaining ratio and sacrificing ratio if C takes 1/5 share of A and 1/6 share of B. So the old profit sharing ratio between A, B and C is equal to 5:3:2. Now C is taking 1/5 share of A. Now C takes 1/5 share of A. So sacrifice of A is 1/5 into his share, which is 5 divided by 10. 1 divided by 10. And similarly, C also takes 1/6 of B. So sacrifice of B is equal to 1/6 into 3/10, which is equal to 1 divided by 20. And gain of C is equal to the sacrifice of A plus the sacrifice of B, which is equal to 1/10 plus 1/20, which is equal to 3 divided by 20. New share of A is equal to old share. A has sacrificed, so minus sacrifice. The old share of A is 5/10 minus sacrifice of A is 1/10. Therefore, the new share of A is 4/10. New share of B is old share 3/10 minus the sacrifice of B is 1 divided by 20. Answer is 5 divided by 20. And the new share of C is equal to his old share, which is 2/10, plus his gain, which is 3 divided by 20. I'm taking it from here. So we get 7/20 as the new share of C. Therefore, new profit sharing ratio between A, B and C is equal to 4/10 is to B's new share 5/20 is to 7/20. So taking a common denominator of 20, we get 8:5:7. So this is the new profit sharing ratio between A, B and C. The sacrifice ratio between A and B is equal to, we need to put the sacrifice together in the form of a ratio, which would be 1/10 is to 1/20. So on taking the common denominator of 20, we get that the sacrifice ratio between A and B is 2:1. And there is only one person gaining, that is C, and his gain is 3 divided by 20. So let's summarize this. NPSR between A, B and C is 8:5:7. Sacrifice ratio between A and B is equal to 2:1, and the gain of C is equal to 3 divided by 20. We'll continue the remaining examples in the upcoming video.